I wanted to do a review of the Qnique Spoon Glide Foot from Quilt Frog. Here I am receiving it at a special price of $62.95. Comes in a clear package and looks very much like one of the feet that come with my Qnique 21X Elite. The same side, opening. Now you see the glide foot that's already connected to my 21X Elite. And notice the smaller size of the foot, the actual clear plastic. In comparing them side to side, you can see that the opening on the spoon glide foot is probably 2 or 3 times larger, which is important when you're looking down through your foot and you want to do a repair pattern. And you want to line your stitches up to continue with your stitching out your pattern. As you can see, it's quite a bit larger and it floats along the edge of your fabric and does not tend to turn your fabric over when it glides off and on your fabric. And I'm using a very lofty wool batting. It's easy to connect. You use your hopping foot screw, disconnect your other foot, slide this onto the shaft, replace the hopping foot screw, and I'll do that just enough to keep it in place, and then I will actually move it off of my fabric, tighten the screw, and then use the hopping foot height adjustment, slide underneath, and then bring my hopping foot down on the top. Not real tight, just enough. And you're going to see that I'm going to raise my foot just a little bit higher because my batting is very lofty. I want to do needle down, and then my hopping foot adjustment will slide right on. And then I'm going to slide a couple sheets of paper on top of that to raise my foot up just a bit. My needle alignment paper actually. To raise my hopping foot up just a bit so it will not drag over the surface of my quilt because I am using the loft batting, wool batting. And once I've made that adjustment, I'll tighten down the screw and I'm ready to check. And I'm ready to test to see if it'll stitch properly. I'll remove that, go back onto my quilt with some test fabric, do some trial stitching. I'll check the top and the bottom tension, make sure everything looks good. And with just replacing the foot like that, no difference in tension. So I'm ready to tack down my quilt. And with the wider surface of the foot, it does really help to hold down the edges of your quilt as you're tacking it down. And my challenge is always moving across the top. And then down on the sides. All right, I'll put in my program from Quilter's Creative Touch, and I'm ready to proceed. So I'm stitching out my digital design. The foot is performing beautifully. No change in my stitches. Everything looks good. I really like using the larger spoon foot. I have created a crumb quilt with all the little pieces, all my little scraps, stitched them all together. So there are a lot of seams in this quilt. So it stitches over them very easily. no hesitation, and no change in my stitch quality. It easily goes on and off the fabric, off the edge of the fabric, comes back on. And again, the thing that I really like is that the hole in the foot is so much larger. I can actually see my stitches. And I know exactly where my placement is when I'm repairing a pattern. The foot is very easy to put on. Just remove the screw, take the old foot off, put the new foot on, adjust your height. And as you can see, looking down through the foot, I can see about 4 stitches. And as I use my needle nudge, I can pinpoint exactly where I want my stitches to begin when I'm repairing a pattern. I can line up on my pattern quite easily, and that is the glide foot that I replaced. You can only see 1 or 2 stitches. I can see about 4 with the new foot. And here they are side by side. Even when placing your placement nodes, it's easy to slide under the foot. Just mark it. Depending on your model of Unique long arm, you may need to replace the hopping foot collar assembly. Scan the QR code for your special discount pricing.